gotta be the assistant, Drew.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah. Good morning. We, the community of unity in the Gold Country, acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Nisenan people, who have lived in relationship with this land for countless generations. We honor their enduring presence, resilience, and deep spiritual connection to the earth. We also recognize the devastating impact of colonization on the Nisenan people, including the California Gold Rush, which brought profound harm to their communities and sacred lands. We commit to learning, listening, and taking actions that support the Nisenan tribe in preserving their cultural heritage and securing federal recognition. In gratitude, we honor this land, its beauty, history, and the people who have always protected it. So, good morning. It's spring. It's wonderful, isn't it? I'm Mark Wandrow. I'm your platform assistant for today, and I'll be assisting Sandy Spurgeon, who's our speaker today. I want to welcome each of you here today, and a special welcome to those who are on our online love stream. Now, is there anyone here for the first time today? If you are, raise your hand. Good. So we have a special packet of information for our newcomers about unity in the Gold Country and unity in general. If you're here for the first time, our chaplain is bringing you, our chaplain Christy Stevens, right there in the purple, can give you one of these welcome packets. Anybody else? Good. Thank you. So unity is based on prayer. If you would like individual prayer today, our prayer chaplain, Christy, is available after the service. Or if you would like the healing circle group to pray with you for healing, please fill out the form on the table by the restrooms for an appointment. Or if you would like your prayer request sent to Unity headquarters, please fill out the form by the restrooms. We begin today by lighting the Christ candle. With gratitude, we gather as the unique expression of the divine presence that we are. We pause to feel into this life force that invites us to be a creative partner with it. We now allow it to fully embody within our whole being. We also sense and feel the connection that exists between each one of us, the universal web of intelligence that we partake in as the human race. As we appreciate our web of connectivity with one and all, moving from a me to a we focus, we express our desire to unite with all humanity through the energy of compassion and kindness. We invite this energy to now rise up within us while extending outward to connect with Mother Earth and all sentient beings. This uniting spirit of oneness, of the one I am presence, we call the Christ. We light this candle now as a reminder that we are all blessed by being part of this one presence. It is the truth. Let us own it and make it real in our lives. Amen. One second. And today, we're delighted to have with us Angela and Gabriel, who will lead us in our music program. Please stand now and join in the opening hymn.
work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. Oh, I'm filled with peace and serenity. I'm free. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. Oh, I'm filled with hope and serenity. I'm free. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. Oh, I'm filled with love and serenity. I'm free. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. I'm letting the power of God work its wonder in me. Oh, I'm filled with joy and serenity. I'm free.
Seats, conscious of the Christ's presence within us, let us greet one another with a handshake, a hug, or a namaste bow. Okay, you're going to do
Okay,
the
I'm going to do the invocation
okay, so you got that?
and the prayer intention.
That's the land acknowledgement. Let me put
Yeah, so
that-
I'll need, this is mine.
Let's put that down here.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
we're
You're going
good.
to say hi to everybody, huh? And then
Yeah.
what comes next? Then we go to...
I'm going to do the invocation and the prayer
Okay, so
list.
I don't have to do anything now. You can just do
No,
that,
then
right?
you're going to read the daily word and do your meditation.
Yes, yes.
Now pour yourself into it. Oh, then they're going to sing. After the meditation,
I'm going to have a song, yeah.
pour yourself into the
So
and then
I've
I'm
got
gonna
that. I've got meditation, then music, then talk. We're good.
Mark, do you want me to play your meditation or not? Some people do, some people don't. Okay, sure. Sure, that'd be fine. Yeah, okay. It's only if you want it, yeah. Okay, okay.
Mark, may I put this right here? This right on top.
Yes, did you do that?
Oh, that light is so bright.
That's great. I can identify that. That's great.
Great. Good morning, everyone. So just take a nice deep breath and, yeah, settle into our seats. It's so great to look out and see all these smiling faces. And happy spring. Yay, yay, yeah. And I do want to say thank you to Mark. He's stepping up to do platform for the very first time, and he's doing a great job. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. All right, I wanted to just honor everything today. So I chose this invocation that is a Chinook blessing litany. We call upon the earth, our planet home, with its beautiful depths and soaring heights, its vitality and abundance of life. And together we ask that it teach us and show us the way. We call upon the mountains, the Cascades and the Olympics, the high green valleys and meadows filled with wildflowers, the snows that never melt, the summits of intense silence, and we ask that they teach us and show us the way. We call upon the waters that rim the earth, horizon to horizon, that flow in our rivers and streams, that fall upon our gardens and fields, and we ask that they show us the way. We call upon the land which grows our food, the nurturing soil, the fertile fields, the abundant gardens, and the orchards, and we ask that they teach us and show us the way. We call upon the forests, the great trees reaching strongly to the sky, with earth in their roots, and the heavens in their branches, the fir and the pine and the cedar, and we ask them to show us the way. We call upon the creatures of the fields and forest and the seas, our brothers and sisters, the wolves, the deer, the eagle, the dove, and great whales and the dolphin, the beautiful orca, the salmon, who share our northwest home, and we ask them to teach us and show us the way. We call upon all those who have lived on this earth, our ancestors, our friends, who dream the best for future generations, and upon whose lives our lives are built. And with thanksgiving, we call upon them to teach us and show us the way. And lastly, we call upon all that we hold most sacred, the presence and the power of the great Spirit of love and truth, which flows through all of the universe, to be with us too, teach us and show us the way. And so it is. And when I made a cup of tea this morning, this was the thing on the back of Yogi. It says, "The universe is within you, bright and beautiful." So just take that in, everyone. All right. So now we move into our time of prayer. And I invite you to together repeat this with me, please. It's up there. Together we set the intention that as each name on our prayer list is read, that person is bathed in the love and their highest good comes to them. So we're praying today and offering our love out to Christopher Kyle, Karen Wyeth, the Klopfer family, Charlie and Will McBride, Sharon Rolfe, Rev Maggie, Linda Lou Haynes, Javon and Anadi Swan, Sally Parker, Ann Ward, Otto Good, Joan Arbini, Kelsey for the passing of her mother, Kay, Linda and Andrea, Tom Chesko, Sylvia Shaw, David Wheeler, Tom Borden, Sandra Bates, Samara Ryan, Lillian Sapp, Dave Alder, Nick Grapp, Mary Johnson, Chuck McDonald, Nathan Lundstrom, Bill Brook, Ann Ward, and Beck Frank. Now, if there's anyone that you would like to offer prayer for, you can mention them out loud if you like or silently. Okay. And we also include a prayer for healing and peace in our world, for all people. We pray for healing, resilience in our natural world. We pray that families with children will find us, that we may bless their journey as they bless ours. We remember the whole of love empowering our prayers. And now we'll just join together and say our unity prayer. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. All right. Now, Mark.
Now it's time for the daily word, and the word for today is joy. Joy fills my heart and warms my soul. Can you repeat that with me? Joy fills my heart and warms my soul. Today, I will view the world through eyes of joy. This mindful practice will make even the most ordinary things seem special, and the things I may have taken for granted seem fresh and new. Even the energy I bring to my relationships will be imbued with harmony and peace. I will feel lighter, kinder, and more connected to the people in my life when I commit to living with joyful intention. Moments of frustration, disagreements with others, and disappointments may disturb my equilibrium for a time, but will not rob me of my joy. I honor God each time I share my joy. As I bless myself by feeling joyful, I bring more love, more peace, and more happiness to the world. And from Psalms, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. Now we'll have our meditation. So please get comfortable in your chair with your feet firmly on the floor. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Focus on your breathing and establish a steady rhythm. When you feel sufficiently relaxed, visualize a cluster of stars in the night sky. The more spectacular and awe-inspiring it is, the better. Try to recall one of the shots of deep space taken by one of our space telescopes, which are full of color and light against the infinite blackness of space. Now, choose a tiny speck of light in the far distance and watch as it grows in size and intensity. See the particles of light and matter in the cloud of stars begin to fuse together until they form what appears to be a pair of giant hands. As you look, you can see that the hands are cradling a baby, a smiling, laughing personality now burdened. The universal child and all other negative emotions have no meaning. This child was created out of this eternal fusion of light and darkness, emptiness and energy, force and form, for a purpose. That purpose was to love and to be loved. The fault of the child and bountiful universe. The fault of the child and bountiful universe. And its one obligation is to show its love. And its one obligation is to show its love to prove its superiority over nothing less. Allow the images to take their natural course. And when you feel that it is right to end this meditation, slowly return to waking consciousness. And now we have Angela and Gabriel with special music for us.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your grace in me, pour your grace into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me, shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit.
It's really different being right here in front of you guys. You know, there's a lot of security behind that podium. All right. So this is my first time actually using this, so let's see what happens. Okay. So the title of my talk today is The Light of Love. In the light of love, we are whole. And it was inspired by a song by Diva Premal, I believe her name is, and Meaton. And I heard it on YouTube. It's really beautiful. And the words go like this. In the light of love, we are whole. In the light of love, we are home. In the light of love, we heal and sing. Thy will be done in the light of love. So why this resonated with me is because I think in today's times, probably every time, we really need more love. And as Matt Kahn says, more love, not less, more love. So we're called right now to have that willingness to step up and to open our hearts and be the love that we are. And sometimes that pushes us to a point to step outside of our comfort zone. Sometimes that happens, like right now, for example. But you know, when we do that, then we have the opportunity to face our fears and to move through them and beyond them, getting beyond them, which actually strengthens us. It strengthens our love. It strengthens our ability to walk through this world with open hearts. So I did change, not change really, I kind of added to the words. So I wanted to add in like an I am idea. So what I came up with was, I am remembering my oneness with God. I am home to my true self as a beloved child of God. And I joyfully release what no longer serves me. I am free, I am free, I am free. So, hot off the presses, everyone, I'm going to share a situation with you. This was a real growth, step out of my comfort zone situation. So about 3 weeks ago, Reverend Anand asked me if I would do this talk. And I said yes. And a little voice inside of me said, "What the heck were you thinking? My goodness." So, I went about in the various classes that I'm taking with different people, and all these little earth angels were there, and I'm sharing my story. I do think I can do this. I don't know I can't think of anything. And no one bought into it. Nobody bought into my story. Darn it. So they didn't buy into my story, but what they did do was shine their light on me, and they held me in this place where I could move through my own fear. And then a beautiful earth angel said to me, "Why don't you ask your little girl why she's so afraid?" Well, that was a little opener for me. I thought, wow, that's a good idea. So I did. So I asked my little girl what was going on and why she was so afraid, and she said, "Well, children should be seen and not heard." Anybody remember that one growing up? I do. And then the other thing she said is it's being vulnerable is painful. Oh, now that was one I didn't really anticipate, but I could see it. I could understand it. So what happened then was, I realized that what I was saying to myself and what I was holding on to, or my little girl was holding on to, is you need to be perfect. You can't make mistakes because being vulnerable is painful. So that belief that I was carrying around deep inside of me, I thought I had worked through that a long time ago. Hello. No, I didn't. So anyway, being here in front of you, I did show up, right? I didn't run away. I did show up, so here I am. And so what I learned from this experience is that the willingness to step out of our comfort zone is important. It's important in our transformation and in our evolution. And we can stay curious about it. We don't have to judge ourselves over it, which I kind of tended to do, but moved into curiosity, which is a place of love. And so that when that love, when you envelop that fear or that concern or that old belief in love, it can transmute. And again, that's what's important. The other thing I learned was community, how important community is. I had all these love angels that were just holding a space for me in a beautiful, loving community. And that means the world to me. It really empowered me to be able to be up here with you today. And then I found this quote from Greg Braden that I thought was appropriate for this too. He said, "We are never more than a belief away from our greatest love, our deepest healing, and our most profound miracles." Yeah. So I guess this talk is kind of about me. I'm going to share another story with you. But I want to share the story because this one kind of encapsulates everything that in my journey that I've experienced that has led me to this place right here and now. So this took place when I was about 11 years old. And I was raised Catholic. Anybody else can relate? I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school K through 12. So I never got away from being Catholic. I was also, my maternal grandparents immigrated here from Mexico in 1918. My grandma was 18, my grandpa was 19. And so in the true Mexican culture, prayer is really a focus. It's very regarded as a very important part of our life. And also at that time, the church was saying a family that prays together stays together. So we did a lot of rosary and a lot of prayer in our household. And Grandma helped to raise my brother and me because my mom and dad worked. So I had a real connection with her. She was also my godmother, and I was the first grandchild. You know what the first grandchild is like. That's me. So anyway, I became aware that Grandma wasn't feeling well. But, I just kind of shined it on that she just wasn't feeling well until an ambulance came to our house and took her away to the hospital. And in that moment, I went into panic and fear that I was going to lose her. She's in the hospital, of all places. So I automatically went into prayer because that's basically what I was taught. So I went into prayer, and I was reciting. In Catholic tradition, we usually memorize rote prayers. So I had a rote prayer, and that rote prayer promised to give me what I was praying for, if I said it so many times. So I'm saying it religiously with all my heart and soul. Will make my grandma well so she can come home to me. Make my grandma well so she can come home to me. That was my request. So I overheard my mom and dad talking one day, and my mom was crying, and she said to my dad, I just feel so bad because my mom is suffering so much. So I heard, Grandma is suffering. So that night when I prayed, I said, Dear God, take away my grandma's pain. And I just assumed he knew the other part, bring her home to me. Bring her home to me. I assumed that, but I didn't. I don't think I said it. So the next morning, the next day, actually, my mom and dad came home from the hospital and said my grandma had died. So I was so enraged and so sad and so full of grief that I ran into my room and I picked up this little statue. It was probably about this tall, of the Divine Infant of Prague. And I grabbed it my grandmother had given it to me, by the way. So I grabbed it by the neck and the head, and I threw it across the room. And I said, I will never pray to you again. I felt at that moment I was so betrayed by God. I felt so far away from God. I wasn't worthy of God's grace and of God's blessing and of having this prayer be answered. But that was my little girl again, thinking that my prayer wasn't answered. But we all know in reality it was, because I said, take away her pain. And she died. And she went home, but not to my home. She went to her own home. So I think that, what I feel about that is that, what I said about it was, who will love me the way she did? That was the messaging I was giving to myself. And then it turned into, no one will ever love me the way she does, or she did. So even though I continued to Catholic school through high school, I never prayed with the same devotion or heart. It was just never in my prayers. And more importantly, the connection I had felt with God was severed by my grief. My grief just tore me apart from God. Well, that's what I thought. So the shift for me happened, I think I was in my mid-40s, when I experienced a real trauma in my life. Some people would call it the dark night of the soul, when everything you think about your life just collapses around you. And I didn't realize that I was kind of traveling through life with rose-colored glasses. Life is good, life is good. But deep down inside, something wasn't right. And when it came to that time where everything fell apart, I fell apart. I became nobody. Who am I? I'd ask myself. Who am I? And who is God in all of this? Oh, God abandoned me again. There we go. God abandoned, reinforcing my belief that I was separate from God. So I got to a point, kind of at my lowest point. And I confided in my mother, telling her that I didn't think I could go on. And she lovingly said, you have so much to live for. And God's love is always with you. Remember that. So there it was, the shift, the shake. It was like in that moment, was another earth angel moment. Thank you for those earth angels. And I had to remember that I could never, ever truly be separated from God's love. It's just not possible. I was the one that turned away. God never turned away. So it was just waiting to be reawakened in me. And the quote from The Way of Mastery, it says, you cannot transcend that which you refuse to embrace. For in embracing does love return to the place where the shadow once dwelt. So again, as we move through our life and we open to embracing those fears, those old beliefs, we are embracing something that will allow more love to emanate from us and through us and out into the world. I really liked, I think Jack Canfield has this little analogy of a chicken and the egg. And he says, imagine you're a chicken in the egg, and the shell around you is all you've ever known. And breaking free can be terrifying. But if the chick never breaks through, it will never experience life fully. So that's how we are. We can create these shells around us, these blocks to our love. And sometimes it's terrifying to break through them. But when we do, we open to a life that's during this Lent season. How does that work? And I studied the Bible. How I feel about number one, his connection to the divine. Number one, his connection to the divine. You will do these things and more. You will do these things and more. Which to me said, accept her. Which to me said, accept that and to walk into that. So he was opening the door to our oneness with God and opening our eyes to fulfill our highest potential, which is to live and be in that Christ light that's within us and that is always moving out into the world through us. So before Jesus went to Jerusalem, the gospel account says that he and 3 disciples went to climb a mountain, climb a high mountain. He went with Peter, James, and John. The climb itself is symbolic of our spiritual journey. Climbing, we're always, we seem like sometimes we're really climbing, and sometimes it's hard. Climbing up requires perseverance and trust. And even when we don't understand where we're headed or where we're going, we need to fall into that area of trust within ourselves. As the disciples, we may not fully understand why or where. Why are we climbing? Where are we climbing to? But the effort and the struggle of the climb are all a part of our transformation. So again, that goes back to facing our fears and being willing to move through them, in them, and beyond them. So at the peak of the mountain, Jesus experienced what is said to be an unveiling of what has always been present. An unveiling of what has always been present. The term that's used is transfiguration. It is said that, and I think we have that. Can we show that slide, Les? Oh, there it is. This was a picture that Reverend Jerry gave me, and I keep it in my office because it just reminds me. This is the transfiguration, and it said the way it's described is he had. Let me see what that his face shone like the sun, and his clothing was dazzling white. And at that moment, the disciples who were with him, they gave them a glimpse of the divine truth. They saw beyond the limitations of the world, recognizing the deeper reality of who Jesus is or was. So Jesus did not become something different. His true divine nature was just revealed. And at this moment, Jesus embodied his wholeness, his absolute wholeness, his oneness with all creation. And we too we experience those divine moments, right? When we're looking in the midst of all the chaos or confusion or challenges that we face, sometimes we realize that we have this unbelievable sense of peace. We have an unbelievable sense of peace. And that is that sense of God, the God presence within us, leading us, guiding us, holding us. I love this idea that God, the whole energy of creation, the Creator holds us, like this big arms out, just embracing us, just holding us as we move through life. And for us, transfiguration happens when we align our thoughts, our emotions, our physical being, and divine presence within us. It's always within us. and we realize our oneness with God, and barriers and fears and limitations can fall away. And we can begin to see ourselves through the eyes of love. Again, the eyes of love are always available to us. So as Jesus neared his crucifixion, he experienced deep fear and sorrow. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death." Yeah. You know, this moment reveals his humanity. Again, he took on the mantle of a human existence. And then in the midst of his fear, he surrendered. "Not my will, but yours be done." And the last words he said were, "It is done. It is done." So he moved through his life, and he did act out, he did play out basically his role in being the way shower. He's the way shower that we can call on at any time to show us the way to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, as you die to each thing that comes up in your life. And we're always dying to this and dying to that. It's like dying and resurrecting, dying and resurrecting, dying and resurrecting. That is giving up, surrendering to those things that hold us back from love. Dying to it, and then moving forward, opening to the new, widening our ability to send love. So again, the story teaches us that in our darkest moments, divine light is always present. Trust the process of spiritual growth, and even when the climb is difficult, trust the process. So his resurrection, we die to our old way of being, and we open to the new. And he also taught us that there is no death. We do lose the physical body, yes, but there is no death because our spirit goes on. So it goes on. So those are the lessons that I took from looking at Jesus' life and applying it kind of to my life and saying, oh, that's really interesting. It's the same thing. Our fears come up. We say we don't want them that way, but then we surrender and we open our hearts and we crack open our hearts just a little bit more. So whatever lies before us, we're never alone. The light within us is unshakable, and it will lead us through every challenge in our life, every moment of uncertainty, and into the fullness of divine love that moves in us, through us, and as us in the world. And this is really a sweet quote from a Unity founder, Myrtle Fillmore. I got a chuckle out of it because of the word that she uses here. Our work is to clear away the rubbish and let the Christ light shine. Clear away the rubbish in your life. Clear it away and watch what happens and how it transforms you and transforms your life and begins to transform the world. So go out and let your light shine. Much love to you all.
Now is the time for our offering. We know that many of you make a one-time check or donation each month, but we invite you to add something to the basket as it passes. If you donate coins, it will be given to our Change for Change recipient for this month. I invite you to hold your offering over your heart, and if you're giving with someone else, join hands as we pray. As we pray, divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Somebody is. So as the ushers come up, we will have special music from Gabriel, Angela, and, not Drew this time. I forgot to mention Drew last time.
Thanks, sir.
It's all about allowing peace within, an absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storm subsided and calm becomes the way, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you cease the struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start. Now feel it warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying love, different than any you have known. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing change to show, and living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you've tried, for it's all about allowing it inside. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing love to flow, and setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you cease the struggle and love pours through your heart, it was all about allowing it to start.
So we have blessed these gifts in our hearts, and when in sincere gratitude, we offer them and dedicate them to the work in unity in the Gold Country and unity worldwide. That we someday will have this, we hold this vision of a world that works for all.
Now it's time for announcements. And we have quite a few. It's a busy time right now. Number one, we have the Spring Renewal Hypnosis Workshop. That's this Thursday. Well, it's already happened. Well, we're supposed to announce it, but it'll happen again, I think. So we're going to have our sound bath meditation again on March 27th. That's this coming Thursday from 1 to 2 with Susan. There she is, raising her hand. It's really wonderful. I've done it myself, and it's relaxing. Now, Unity Then and Now, a journey through Unity's teachings. Our new Reverend Anand and Reverend Joe will have a one-day class exploring Unity's history, principles, and evolving messages. It's pretty much an all-day class, Saturday, April 12th, from 9:30 to 3, and so you better bring your own lunch. But it'll be great, especially for newer people or for people who just want to learn more about unity. But wait, there's more.
I'm sorry. I got a text from Anand. Now I can see you.
Yeah.
I got a text from Anand about the wording for this announcement, that it's also our membership orientation. So it's for those of you who want to broaden your knowledge of unity or remind yourself, but if you want to become a new member, it's also our new member orientation. Okay? Thank you.
And it pretty much says that in the weekly newsletter on the internet. So there's that. And then we're going to have on April 6th, or are we going to do, which one are we going to do next? There she is. Going Deeper, Reverend Angelica. She's going to present a multimodal approach for greater ease, inspiration, releasing patterns of tension. That's going to be Sunday, next Sunday, March 30th, 12:15 to 2:15, right here following our Sunday service. So I don't think you need to sign up, but just be aware that's happening. And she's doing the service next Sunday as well, so it'll probably be a continuation of that. Then we have the free introduction to the power of breath work. Maricela and Theodore will guide you to experience conscious connected breathing. That's going to be Sunday, April 6th, also following our Sunday service, roughly 11:45 to 12:15. And then they're going to be offered on Saturday, May 3rd, also. More details to follow. Now, coming up almost a month from today, 2 months from today, Saturday, May 24th, is a master class with Michael Stone in Why Can't We Just Get Along? Michael Stone is quite well known, and he has wonderful ideas. You can read about them up here. He presents practical tools to help you listen, attune, and truly connect. There is a $30 donation, but you're not turned away for lack of funds. And that's all I have, except for check out all our sign-up sheets on the back here, in the back table, even by the front door. There's more sign-up sheets like the men's retreat that's sponsored by the Reading Church. Okay, at this time, we want to give a special thank you to all the people who made this service so great and who, worked hard to present this to you. We want to thank our speaker, Sandy Spurgeon. I'm your platform assistant. Our musicians, Gabriel, Angela, and Drew. Our front door greeters, Susan Tallarico and Sue Downing. Our ushers, Linda Bicchetti and Pam. Our chaplain, Christy Stevens. The hospitality, Mary Jo Kim and Lita. Sound, Tom Chesko. The love stream, Leslie and Kelly up in the box there. The gift, the bookshop, Patricia Levitan. The altar, our beautiful altar today, Lita Spoto. And the children, Teresia Evans. So now if you'd stand and read together our closing prayer, the unity prayer. Hold hands and let's go. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well.